Good evening, everyone. Episode 27, No Limits, Mike and Stace, unapologetically unfiltered. Are you with us, Stace? You're over there on your phone.
Hello.
I'm like, are you going to join the podcast?
I'm going to join the podcast. Hello.
We're finally back outside after, I don't know, like 4 days of rain now. We just couldn't come outside because of all the rain. We didn't get any rain like they did down south. We just couldn't come outside. So I'm not trying to compare it, by any means.
No,
saying,
not at all.
We're finally back outside because we haven't been outside in a few days. Just got done wrapping up watching the DVR'd debate.
Yes.
From last night. So that's what we're going to discuss a bit before we get into the actual debate. We want to take a moment and thank our new followers.
Yep. Welcome. Thank you.
I've been hitting it pretty heavy. I haven't been hitting it pretty heavy, but someone's been hitting it pretty heavy on on Facebook for us. Got some new followers there, so No Limits Mike and Stace. You can find us there. You can find us on X. The podcast itself, it is available on the Podbean app, obviously, where we record it. It's available on YouTube. It's available on Pandora. So any first-time listeners, this is us. We sit around. We're outside right now. We don't edit our podcast. We just record and publish.
Yeah.
That's it. So we do, with our new followers, it was interesting to see there's a lot of angry people.
Yes.
And like angry and mean.
Yes.
The comment that you posted on just basically saying that you'd be proud to have JD as our VP, and the people like attacking, personally attacking,
yes.
And it's like, the fuck, man.
And it was a certain party.
What was the Dems?
And it, personally attacking, and it's like, first of all, you do not know us. You know nothing about us other than the fact that we're going to vote for Trump. That's all you know. Yeah.
They're angrier than we are.
Yes. And it's, why are you so angry, friend? Your senile old man is currently in there. I'm unsure why you're angry. Are you butthurt? You actually think that the prices are going to change? Do you actually think that the gas is going to come down? You're completely delusional if you think that that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
We can't do another 4 years of this. We absolutely cannot do another 4 years of this.
No, we can't. And these people, I don't know. I had to bite my tongue. I wanted to chime back, but then again, I don't want to go into Facebook jail either.
Well, it's like bullying, essentially.
These motherfuckers.
I'm not, I'm not, you're not, we're not bullying you for your party affiliation. I stated a fact, my opinion, period. I mean, and
I don't go trolling them Facebook posts.
No, I have absolutely no desire. We don't need to see what they put on Facebook.
They're bitter enough that they go and troll Republican Facebook posts.
And I mean, okay, and here's another way I see it, right? These are all just our personal views and how we feel. They have the right, this is America, they're free to choose their candidate as well. But don't attack me. And my question to them would be, and I'm completely open to a conversation, instead of attacking me personally, an adult, you can just say, why don't you explain to me why Am I wrong? Why are you right and I'm wrong?
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't have to turn into an argument. I'm a very open-minded person, and I appreciate anything I can learn from anybody. And to see their point of view, who knows? Maybe they could change my mind. Not behaving like that. I mean, somebody that's going to attack someone else, that's bullying. That's not going to change my mind. And let me also just throw out there that we're Gen X. I could give two fucks less what you say. I mean, that's not...
They're not going to do that because their reasoning behind why, UG is better than Trumpy is because the orange man sends mean tweets.
Well, these are also people that need safe spaces.
Right. So, fuck them.
We don't need safe spaces. Just give me a beer and we'll handle it the old-fashioned way.
Right. So,
anywho,
the topic of this evening is the debate massacre of Tampon Tim.
Yes.
Because I don't care who you are. He really fucked that up.
He did. What was it? Within the first 2 minutes, I looked at you and I was like, he just won this for Trump.
Yes.
He just won it right there.
Yeah.
I mean, 40 years old, what, right? Is that what he said? He's 40 years old. Calm, cool, collected. He stayed on topic, discussed policies, didn't let them fact check him. He was like,
that
whoa.
was great.
Oh my God. He was like, no, we're not doing that.
Since you're going to fact check me, and he called them out on it.
And they were told they weren't going to be fact checked. So, of course, lies. All the other party ever does is spew freaking lies.
Well, anybody that's listened to any of our podcasts that we've, touched on Trump and Vance knows that I've been very critical of Vance.
Yeah, same. I wouldn't even say anything about him because I'm like, I haven't heard him say anything. I don't have an opinion.
I said that, Trump made a mistake in choosing him.
You did.
Because he's a mouth runner and Trump's a mouth runner and you can't have two mouth runners. And it hit me earlier today when I was thinking about it, and I was like, it's very interesting what brings out the best in people. Mm-hmm. And for Trumpy, Dr. Phil brings out the best in him because sure. I've mentioned it several times about the podcast that Dr. Phil did with Trump, and you want to know what Trump's like as a man, with somebody that can actually do an interview. You want to listen to that podcast because that interview is phenomenal. And for Vance, what brings out the best in him is the debate.
Yeah.
Because he impressed me. He came out and he introduced himself. Mm-hmm. Because I really didn't know anything about him except that he was a mouth runner.
Yeah.
And apparently he's not always a mouth runner.
Yeah.
He's very well-spoken, very composed. What I thought was very interesting is they tried to trip him up. Because they were like, well, you said this, back then, what changed? And he was very specific in what changed his mind. So the abortion. Mm-hmm. Because that's the fresh. There was something else in there, and I can't remember. The first one, he was very critical of Trump. Mm-hmm. He was not a Trump fan. He was a Trump critic. What changed? And he said, well, I had listened to you, and that's why I was such a critic of Trump because of the media.
Right.
So he threw it back at them.
Yeah.
But the abortion part of it, so he's a senator in Ohio, and the Ohio people voted against his points of view on abortion, against what he was pushing, and that made him realize, okay, I need to be more open-minded about this.
Yeah,
I thought he handled it very well. I was impressed.
Yes.
All the criticism of J.D. Vance, what changed? I watched him debate. That's what changed.
He proved himself. I mean, he definitely proved himself. So yeah, for sure. And now I can have an opinion, an actual opinion of him because I've seen him speak.
And he's not a knucklehead. Waltz, he self-proclaimed knucklehead when he was talking about him being in Tiananmen Square, and he actually wasn't. He was, I'm a knucklehead.
Well, he misspoke. I misspoke. That's always their excuse. I raised your gas prices. I misspoke.
Start a bus tour here in Pittsburgh. So, Timmy, just so you know, Pittsburgh
we don't want you
is a no knuckleheads area.
Yeah.
So stay the fuck out.
Yeah. Yeah, he actually had several verbal stumbles and admitted to misspeaking.
Mm-hmm. Misspeaking.
That's just their go-to. I did this wrong. Oh, I misspoke. Yeah. He misspoke the whole time. Pretty much. He literally had his ass handed to him on a platter. Yeah. And I think that people were expecting JD to come out there and completely flop, and I think everybody is shitting bricks today because they didn't. And quite frankly, I mean, we're essentially not necessarily 100% Republican. We're pretty much independent. And, I mean, everything he said, I was like, yep. So as an independent, I feel like we're a little bit harder to win.
Yeah.
And attacking me as an individual isn't going to get me to see your side, because I do have very, very much democratic points of views as well. But I don't want to be like that.
Yeah, I agreed with most of what J.D. Vance said.
Yeah,
his take on it was very, very down to earth. It was nice hearing him, speak without all the rhetoric and all of that. And the fact that he didn't back down from,
he wasn't intimidated, and
the moderators.
He wasn't intimidated. He wasn't nervous, or if he was, it wasn't obvious. You could not tell.
I watched. There was 10 minutes. I only watched like 2 minutes of it, but there was on Fox News. They had a body language expert.
Oh, okay.
Rating the whole debate.
Yeah, so this is interesting. I'm curious.
That's why I didn't tell you. So they were talking about JD, very calm, very cool, collected. He talked with his hands, but not too much. His body language was very confident, very honest.
And I feel like he conveyed that very well.
Mm-hmm. Walz, on the other hand, the body language that he was giving off was that of he was lying a lot. He was nervous.
He was nervous, and he seemed angry the whole time.
And he was lying. That was from the body language expert.
Right.
For me, so
right.
The body language expert, said that. So.
Interesting.
That was very interesting.
Yeah.
And JD doesn't make friends with school shooters, so I mean, there's got to be a plus there for him. I mean,
yeah, I mean, he can. So to tie that in, he confused Iran and Israel when discussing the Middle East. Said he had, quotes, become friends with school shooters. And stumbled through an explanation of inaccurate remarks about whether he was in Hong Kong. He just, and I feel like when they come up with statistics as to who wins, first of all, I don't really believe there's a such thing as a winner or a loser in a debate, because you're always going to have sides, right? And each side, and especially if you split it, so according to CBS News poll, 42% of people believe that Vance won, 41% believe Walz won, and then 17% believe the debate just resulted in a tie, right? I personally, there are no winners. The winner at the end of this is the person who gets the right candidate. I mean, unfortunately, I don't feel like Kamala is the right candidate. Do I feel like Trump is? I mean, he's our best of the two option. That's what I think. So I don't feel like there are winners or losers. I think that, personally, I feel like it's a great resource for information and to see who's going to say what their policies are. So kind of to give us like a little insight. So it's a little bit annoying that it's...
I didn't realize that you were going to quote that poll, but I have a little bit more information on that poll. Did you know that poll, and this comes from the CBS website, that the vast majority of the people that were polled were Dems?
No, I didn't. I according to the numbers, I would have assumed that it was...
No.
Half and half, just you know what I mean? That's interesting.
No. And that was on the CBS website.
So you got Cackalack wearing earrings that are essentially earpieces. So she needs either someone in her ear holding her hand at all times or emotional support pet Waltzy, right? So you have that.
What kind of emotional support pet is he now?
Well, clearly not a very good one. Maybe he needed her. Maybe he needed the emotional support pet. I mean, that was just a freaking disaster.
For him?
Yeah, if you want my... Yeah, it was a disaster.
Well, it's like I said in a post, I want to thank UG for choosing him as a running mate because...
He's a hot mess.
Yes.
Who was her other choice? It was from here, right?
Shapiro from here.
I feel like of the two, he would have been the better choice.
Yes, I agree.
I mean...
If she wanted to win Pennsylvania, she'd chose Shapiro.
And we all know that this is a huge battleground state, seeing as how both of them have been spending the majority of the time leading up to the election here.
And he's very well spoken. The problem with him...
He is.
For her was the fact that he's Jewish. So his stance on Israel, and it's very, it's very cut and dry.
Sure.
I don't necessarily disagree with it, but it's just, very cut and dry.
Right.
And, they have to appease everybody.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
Well, they're not appeasing me.
No, not appeasing me either.
Mm-hmm.
But so yeah, I want to thank her for choosing Waltzy, Akbar as we call him.
Akbar, you just lost this for yourself. Wait a second, I'm sure.
Tampon Tim.
Oh, that one is freaking hilarious.
That's great.
It's fabulous.
Great. Yeah, it was. I expected more. Because everybody made, such a big deal about him being a coach and blah, blah, blah. Well, the coach got schooled.
Well, he wasn't very motivational.
And you pointed it out. He took notes all the time.
And she did as well. They wrote a whole book.
JD kept looking up at the clock to see when his time to pounce was.
And he
didn't write anything down. He was just looking at the clock. When do I get to speak?
Yep. Very impressive. Respectful. And that's the thing. I feel like it has become this whole us versus them. When's it just going to be one?
We the people.
We the people. United. Why is it us and them? I'm not here for that at all, to be honest.
And the fact that we have, a two-party system is absurd.
Yeah.
And it's funny because they talked about, because Waltzy was trying to, when he was talking about abortion, Roe versus Wade, and look, I agree. And I'm glad, the way JD explained it, because it's what I've been saying all along.
Yes.
So I'm glad that it was sent back to the states. The states should have the power. The government shouldn't be that big. It's a very diverse country, and each state, is different than one another.
Mm-hmm.
So, he was trying to make that out to be a bad thing. So obviously, as a Democrat, he wants more government.
Of course he does. Then they want like a one world order or whatever.
New world order.
Well, you guys go on ahead and find that world elsewhere that's not here in America. Those of us patriots who are true Americans that believe that hard work does get you somewhere and are very proud to be American and proud of this country that we live in, you go ahead and find someplace else to have your little new world order, because here is not it. Because as soon as the silent majority has to become unsilent, you'll be real shocked how many of us there are.
Yeah, and one day, hopefully, maybe we'll have. Oh, there goes Kev. Working on something. Maybe one day, we'll have grandkids. I want them to be safe in school, and if that 100%. School has to, look like Fort Knox, so be it. I want them to be safe. The fact that they talk about all these, gun laws and all that. That doesn't do shit for the people that have the guns illegally.
This whole thing just frustrates me so bad. And if people think that the schools being locked down is new, it's not. I mean, our kids are grown. Schools have been locked down for years. This is not new. And this kind of goes back to, I feel personally, ties into like the, like family morals and values. Maybe if you had somebody at home with your kid, and believe me, they still need someone there when they're a teenager.
Oh, yeah.
And these are hard times for these kids, especially nowadays. They need someone there. Yep. Get off your fucking phone.
They've made it to where you need a two-person income for the family.
100%.
Which, if you want to know what we're talking about, go back to one of our previous podcasts where one income family, I believe was the title of it.
But the thing of it is, then, okay, so you get home from work or whatever. What are you doing with your kids? Did you ask how their day was? Do you talk to them? Do you know who their friends are? Do you know who they sit with at lunch? What they ate that day? These are very important. They may seem trivial, but believe me, to your child or even teenage child, these are not trivial. These are important. They need to know that we care as a parent. And if you don't, you have no business having a child.
I agree. And here's I'm gonna ask you a question.
All right.
So if they, because Walz, brought it up, about AR-15s. So you make AR-15s illegal.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't fentanyl illegal?
Yeah, I think so. I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
It's illegal.
It's what's being trafficked in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But wait, it's illegal. People shouldn't have it.
Mm-hmm.
It's illegal. So, wait a second. You mean just because it's illegal, the criminals aren't abiding by it?
Right.
Oh, come on now.
Right.
So, guess what? You can make your gun laws, and the criminals, they don't give a shit.
They don't.
And what we have locked up in our safe, you ain't getting it.
Right.
Tell you that right now.
Right.
So, but the fact that they think that making something illegal is going to change the criminals, is absurd. It shows how out of touch they are with reality.
For sure, but people gobble that up and they're like, wait a minute. Yeah, if you do that, then we'll be safe.
Yeah, and he made it out to be, because JD had mentioned about, mental health and all of that. And Walz was like, well, I don't want, you to, I forget the exact term that he used, but, it to be mislabeled as, a mental health issue. It's the gun.
Yeah, he did say that.
It's not the gun. It's never the fucking gun.
Listen,
the gun doesn't just magically shoot somebody. It's the asshat behind the gun.
I was taught how to shoot guns. I'm going to say probably 3. 3 years old. And again, we've discussed multiple times how I grew up in the country. I knew how to handle it, how to be safe with it my whole life growing up. I knew, if dad's not helping you with that, you do not touch that. But if, you're taught, obviously I knew that if there wasn't somebody there helping me, that it was unsafe. So, yeah, it has nothing to do with the actual gun itself.
No.
And if you're going to have, here's another thing. If you're going to have it in your home, legally, because I know a lot of folks hunt, whatnot, totally here for it, then you need to teach your kid. You don't necessarily have to teach them to use it, but you do need to teach them that it's unsafe for them to handle by themselves. Like, educate them.
It is never the gun.
No.
I've carried a 45 on my hip for years, and it never magically just shot someone. It's never magically just fired itself. It is never the gun.
I don't like to, call people names but I do definitely feel like, and this, I'm sure that this isn't for the whole case, but I'm going to say the majority, they're sheeple. They are totally just blindly following. Yes, master. Yes, master. Get a mind of your own, dude. Educated or not educated. Educate yourself then. Yeah. Do some reading. Watch some of these debates. Look into it further. Don't just blindly follow. You want to talk about being uneducated, whether you have a college degree or you don't. That right there, just because you're going to vote, just because that's how you've always voted, that's uneducated, friend.
Agreed.
Because the world has changed. Times have changed. Just because you've always seen something one way, get out of your bubble. And maybe you get out of your bubble. Maybe you do that and you still choose that. But guess what?
Then own it.
Own it, and you've made an educated choice that, okay, look, I do stand behind this. Not just because this is what they say and so this is what we're going to do. No. Absolutely not. She needs to do something about this border as well. Because if it becomes a serious issue, we're all not going to have any choice but to take it into our own hands. What's that called? Martial law?
Yes.
We see all this on TV, that is happening or whatnot. You don't see us running over there. Oh, wait, we can't. Because in order to get anywhere out of the country, as an American citizen, you need a fucking passport.
Well, we can go into.
Yeah, but you can't come back.
But you can't come back.
Right.
Without, I have to prove that I'm a citizen. But yet you have fucking illegals that,
Yeah, but we've been out of the country. And you do have to go through customs to get in. I've been out of the country a multitude of times.
To come back in, you have to prove that you're an American citizen.
But you also have to have your passport out to go into the country.
So, and unless it's changed over the years, you used to be able to just walk right into Mexico.
Well, I'm talking about the trip that was current.
I know, but I'm just telling you, Mexico is the issue. And when I used to travel, I would go down to El Paso. I'd just walk right across the border.
Mm-hmm. But you had your passport to come back. No
question asked.
Sure.
No, I didn't even have a passport at that time because it wasn't required. So when I was coming back, I just had to show my driver's license and go through the Border Patrol.
Yeah.
You just walk right into Mexico.
Well, for those of us, and especially like the elderly folks that have been paying into Social Security for our whole lives, but yet they can come over here, get housing, a phone, get put on welfare. Seriously? And if this is this is also what the Dems stand for, you can take them to your new world as well. Bye. I don't give a shit. You want to collect that? Pay into it.
Yeah.
You just get to come over here and live for free.
They do, because it gets the Dems a vote.
Mm-hmm.
So. Any other points you got on there that you want to make?
Well, I just want to touch real quick on the abortion situation again, but I don't want to delve too far into it because I don't want to.
Okay.
Because then I end up revealing a little bit more than I care to. But when we were watching about Waltz's his own state's law, and I did just a teeny bit of research because it was very quick like. But in Minnesota, I don't have that accent down, you know what I mean? But the law in Minnesota, I mean, was very, I was appalled, to be honest with you, because abortion in Minnesota is legal at all stages of pregnancy. I have a problem with that. And Waltzy even called JD out regarding his rule. Did he say it was going to be, or so, was it 15 weeks? Mm-hmm. Being a mother myself, I can assure you it's at 16 weeks that you can find out what your baby actually is. So I even think that that's generous to give them to 15 weeks. Look, the way I actually see it is, and for those of you who have listened this whole time, you already know my point of view, but for those of you who have not listened, perhaps this is your first time, I don't, if you want to abort your kid, you do you. That actually is one less mouth that we have to feed. So that's my stance on that. But my opinion is also, you say my body, my choice. I say your body, your fucking responsibility. It is 2024. There are a multitude of choices for you to not get pregnant. I'm not going to list them. You can Google that on up. But there's a multitude. I mean, it is your body. You're 100% correct. You need to be in control of it. And I'm not saying that things don't happen. I'm not saying that perhaps you're on the pill. Perhaps you've had your tubes tied. And because there is a percentage, right? And you just heard what I said, how I feel about it. In the event that that happens, you know your body. You're a woman. You know your body. If you're pregnant, you find yourself in that situation, take care of it. Don't get to the point where it's that far in. Your body, your responsibility. Take care of yourself. That's my point. And if you're if you're 9 damn months pregnant, that is a whole child. That is a sin to decide that you do not want that baby. You'll burn in hell for that for sure. 9 months, that is a whole ass child. I don't want to speak anymore because I get real fired up about it. And this is why I don't want to speak about it. But also, I do feel like a lot of people don't realize that you have the power. Why are you giving the government I can get an abortion. Yeah, you also can take the pill, friend. You can get an IUD. You can handle yourself. And if you think for 1 second, dude, that Trumpy's going to take all those options away from you, this isn't 1900. You will always have those choices. Mm-hmm. Always. It's just ignorant and ridiculous that the Dems throw that out there. Handle yourself. Moving on.
Do better, Dems.
Yes.
All right. Well, that was a good discussion.
Yeah, good talk.
Good talk.
Yeah.
So I think with that, we're going to wrap it up. Don't forget, if you like what you hear, or if you're entertained by what you hear,
yeah.
Give us a follow. You can find us on all the socials. Well, I guess not all the socials. The two socials, X and Facebook.
Yeah.
we're
Gen X. We don't do all that other BS.
Yeah, that's too much work.
Yeah.
But you can find our podcast, like I said, on Pandora, YouTube, Podbean.
Honestly, I just kind of feel like this is our 2 cents. This is what we sit around and this is what we chat about. And if we can have one person, we don't necessarily want to change your mind, but if it's one person that maybe thinks a little bit differently, or maybe even just you don't have to agree with us, but see our point of view, then we've done our job.
Yep, agreed.
And essentially, at the end of the day, the whole MAGA. Mm-hmm. Well, who doesn't want to make America great again? And if you don't belong here. And I don't want to just make America great again, but I want to make it safe again. I want to make it affordable again. I want to make it someplace that we are all proud to be again.
And healthy again.
And healthy again, yes. Too many people collecting a paycheck on our behalf.
Mm-hmm.
Big pharma, government. Not saying that we shouldn't all pay into the pot. I'm not saying that at all. Just saying that
We should discuss Big Pharma.
it's gone out of hand. Oh, we could discuss Big Pharma. Oh, I could go down the rabbit hole on that.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be for another time. Because I could go down the rabbit hole on that.
We're going to discuss Big Pharma on one of our other podcasts.
Yeah, and if anybody that's listening that has anything that they would like to add, comment, or even any ideas for us to discuss, something that you'd like to hear us discuss, please feel free.
Oh, yeah, we'll talk about it.
Feel free to reach out. Yeah.
We don't care. We'll talk about anything.
Yeah, for sure.
Doesn't matter.
For sure.
You do the research. I just wing it. It works.
Yeah, it works. Yep.
So that's cool. All right. With that, Mike and Stace signing off.
Everybody have a great rest of the week. Bye.